this hour on VTV News. ASEAN Future Forum 2024 commences with Prime Minister's important opening speech. Later on, 16,800 taels of SJC gold auctioned by the State Bank of Vietnam after initial cancellation. In world news, Hezbollah fires 35 rockets at Israel.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good afternoon. It is currently 3 p.m. local time and you're tuning into 30 minutes of VTV News. I'm Lilin Lei with the latest updates. Now on Tuesday morning, Prime Minister Phie attended and delivered an important speech at the opening session of the ASEAN Future Forum, addressing to all attending parties. Speaking at the forum, Prime Minister Phie proposed that ASEAN jointly implement 5 enhancements to realize the ASEAN Vision 2045, which are, first, strengthen solidarity, cooperation, and unity in diversity, upholding the spirit of independence and self-reliance. Second, enhance strategic trust within ASEAN and with partners, contributing to preventing conflicts and maintaining regional and international peace, security, stability, and prosperity. Third, strengthen digital transformation, green development, circular economy, and digital economy to foster new growth drivers for ASEAN while revitalizing traditional growth drivers. Fourth, putting people at the center of development and never trade progress, social justice, and the environment to pursue simple economic growth. And fifth, taking advantage of all social resources to create strategic breakthroughs in institutions, human resources, infrastructure, and national governance, helping ASEAN to develop quickly and sustainably. The Prime Minister affirmed that Vietnam will continue to make more efforts with other countries, international partners, and friends, especially ASEAN countries, to open up a future of unity in diversity. On Tuesday morning, National Assembly Chairman Vương Đình Huệ chaired a session of the National Assembly Standing Committee to discuss the draft report on the thematic monitoring results of the implementation of policies and laws on ensuring order and traffic safety from 2009 to 2023. According to the draft report, since the 2008 law on road traffic was introduced, the traffic police force has handled nearly 70 million violations, adding nearly $1.65 billion to the state treasury. Over 1 million inspections were carried out and 1.5 million violations were addressed. Deputies of the Standing Committee also agreed with the splitting the 2008 law into 2 different law projects, which are the Road Law and the Law on Road Traffic Order and Safety, in order to better meet practical requirements. The discussion also mentioned some concerns over the enforcement of helmet wearing, which has not been as strong as before, as well as the roadmap to recall and gradually eradicate outdated and unsuitable vehicles that do not meet regulations. After an initial cancellation, the bullion gold auction was finally held on Tuesday, April the 23rd at the State Bank's Transaction Center with the participation of 11 businesses and commercial banks. The starting price of the auction was 81.3 million Vietnam dong per tael, which was 600,000 Vietnam dong higher than the previously announced price. The total volume of gold bars offered for bidding that day was 16,800 taels, equivalent to about 630 kilograms of gold. Each bidder could only register a minimum price equal to or higher than the floor price announced by the State Bank. To auction off all of the gold, bidders needed to have an accumulative total of over $530 million. If the auction went well, nearly 17,000 taels of gold would be supplied to the market. This was the State Bank's first bullion gold auction after 11 years in order to stabilize the domestic gold market. The new trading system for the Vietnamese stock market is expected to be operational by May the 2nd. Provided by the Korean Stock Exchange, securities company will connect with the Ho Chi Minh City Stock Exchange for a preliminary review starting this Wednesday. The new system can connect all individual existing stock exchanges like the HNX and HOSE, incorporating them into a single standard, similar to systems in other countries. This will simplify transactions and make exchanges more convenient. As a result, the new system is anticipated to increase market liquidity and monitoring capabilities, as well as lay the groundwork for T+0 securities transactions. This is another step towards Vietnam becoming an emerging stock market. Digital transformation in agriculture is one of 8 priority areas for sustainable production, as directed by the government. Recently, the introduction of a digital ecosystem has enhanced the efficiency of rice production. A consultation workshop on this issue has been organized by the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development in collaboration with the International Rice Research Institute in Hanoi.
Cultivation is one of the fields that has made significant progress in building a digital data ecosystem. RiceMore is a monitoring and reporting system for rice production activity. This system automatically synthesizes data at different management levels, assisting the Department of Crop Production in monitoring and allocating rice by crop, rice variety, and development stages of the production. Consequently, they can make timely decisions in response to climate risks, pest control, and exports.
Precise compliance with the process will significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions, such as by withdrawing water during mid-crop or alternating between wet and dry irrigation.
This method has been applied in 10 provinces and cities, resulting in a 10 to 15% reduction in rice production costs. The RiceMore system is under improvement for application in monitoring greenhouse gas emissions under the project 1 million hectares of high-quality, low-emission rice associated with green growth in the Mekong Delta until 2030.
Vietnam actually is one of the countries that has the most greenhouse gas measurements of any country in this region. So they've actually done an incredible job of collecting lots of data on different management practices in different agroecological zones.
According to the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, the potential of the RiceMore system can far exceed current applications. It will serve as the foundation for building a digital data ecosystem in rice production in particular and in the farming industry in general. Promoting digital applications also improves production value, contributes to green growth, and ensures the livelihoods and health of local farmers.
Not only are forests invaluable to the planet, they also contribute to job creation and income. Currently, there are about 25 million Vietnamese people, of whom 20 to 40% of their annual income comes from the forest. That is also a potential source of finance through forest carbon credits. The agreement to reduce greenhouse gas emissions in the North Central region has brought green finance to more than 70,000 locals participating in forest protection. However, there are still legal difficulties for this activity.
To participate in global carbon markets, Quảng Nam province has collaborated with international organizations to develop a sustainable forest development project. In May 2021, the Prime Minister agreed to allow the province to establish a pilot project for forest carbon credits. With more than 500,000 hectares of primary forest generating over 1 million carbon credits a year, the province can earn over $5 million annually. Localities with forests have long awaited legal frameworks that would allow them to sell forest carbon credits.
We have high hopes for this project. It will help the locality protect the environment, increase budget revenue, and improve forest protection capacity.
The reason behind this delay is that the legal documents, which were created in 2018, do not meet the new standards for verification and credit issuance. Therefore, the province must organize bids and find a new consulting unit to compile a new dossier.
The cost of building a new dossier is high, as it is necessary to hire a reputable consulting unit. There aren't many advisors on buying and selling carbon credits. I hope the government will soon issue documents to address this issue and establish a suitable legal framework for selling carbon credits.
The field of forest carbon credits is not subject to the provisions of the bidding law or current forestry laws. As of now, the province's dossier on reducing greenhouse gas emissions from deforestation and forest degradation has not been completed, preventing them from receiving funding from global funds. Despite being an early adopter of building a pilot dossier to sell carbon credits, Guangnam is now lagging in this field. This means that the province risks losing millions of US dollars in revenue each year, which could be used for poverty reduction, forestry development, and biodiversity conservation.
Urban railway projects have been under research and development for over 20 years, yet their implementation has been ineffective. The delay can be attributed to several factors, including investment costs that cover only about 20% of the needs and lengthy approval and construction periods. These issues require changes in the implementation process, and as such, breakthrough policies are needed to complete the urban railway network as planned.
The 4-kilometer underground section of Railway Line 3 Nhon Hanoi Station is still under construction, even though the project started 14 years ago. According to the adjusted plan, it will take until 2027 to complete the entire route. It might take up to 17 years to complete this single urban railway line, whereas the original plan was only 5 years.
Theo nguyên tắc là kiểm soát chi phí đầu vào.
If we shift from the basic construction investment management model, which is based on the principle of cost management and control procedures, to a model that prioritizes results as the ultimate goal, the city can expedite the completion of its urban railway plans.
According to experts, experiences from the deployed urban railway lines can help Hanoi complete the remaining 9 urban railway lines and 3 monorail lines more quickly.
Investment must be allocated appropriately, determining which route should be done first, which should be done later, and what technology must be used. Furthermore, the site clearance process must be completed within 1 to 2 years to ensure progress.
The amended capital law is also being drafted to maximize convenience for urban railway development. Accordingly, Hanoi is prioritized to apply the urban development model associated with transit-oriented development.
If the revised draft of the capital law is passed, it will undoubtedly bring about significant changes. Hanoi will have more rights and will be more proactive and flexible in making investment decisions for urban railway projects.
Drawing from the example of the first urban railway, Hanoi is now focusing all its resources on urban railway development. The aim is to construct an additional 200 kilometers of urban railway by 2035.
Before we move on, let's have a look at the exchange rate between the Vietnam dong and some world currencies in today's market. Coming up next on VTV News. Ho Chi Minh City urges residents to store fresh water to combat intense heat. And later on, Vietnam seeks to tap into a growing Muslim-friendly tourism market. Now moving on to other important updates, the Ho Chi Minh City People's Committee has asked residents to start storing fresh water to cope with seasonal heat, saltwater intrusion, and water shortages. Accordingly, localities need to identify areas at risk of water shortages to proactively implement solutions, ensuring water supply for residents. Additionally, canals and infield ditches needs to be dredged to increase water storage capacity, and sewers need to be regulated to ensure salinity prevention. These measures are taken to ensure protection activities and residents' daily lives. According to the hydrometeorological station in the southern region, rainfall from April to May this year will be lower than the yearly average. Over 400 cases of online child abuse have been found on social networking sites, according to statistics provided by the Ministry of Public Security. These statistics were presented at a conference on protecting children in the online environment held on Tuesday morning in Hanoi. Specifically, in the past 3 years, authorities have prosecuted over 480 cases and more than 550 defendants on charges of child abuse. The main methods these criminals employ include making online friends on social platforms and lending money through applications, requesting the sending of sensitive media or links containing malicious code to force victims to participate. Leaders of the Ministry of Public Security have requested that police units and localities drastically implement solutions to ensure cybersecurity, promote the prevention and protection of children, and prevent the spread of harmful information. At the same time, they are urged to improve investigate skills, strengthen international cooperation, and enhance the capacity of functional forces in protecting children in the online environment. Ho Chi Minh City has set the goal of effectively controlling emissions from transportation activities by 2025. As such, the city will prioritize electric and green energy buses. However, achieving this goal is far from easy. It requires a complex operational system ranging from charging stations, terminals, to management technology.
Ho Chi Minh City currently has over 2,000 buses. According to the city's transportation sector plan, by 2030, all these buses will be switched to electric or natural gas-powered ones.
The green transformation in transportation must prioritize infrastructure, with three key factors being supply capacity, suitable charging station locations, and whether the power can be used on the spot.
One of the challenges for green bus conversion is the lack of planning for terminals and charging stations. The investment costs are significant, estimated at $39 million for charging stations.
One limitation is the power infrastructure and lack of locations for charging stations. Even 10 minutes of charging can become an inconvenience.
The estimated capital for green bus conversion is over $542 million. Most is needed in a vehicle replacement. Currently, planning and comprehensive policies for the development of green buses in Ho Chi Minh City are being discussed and developed.
Regardless whether it uses governmental, private, or public-private investment, charging stations must be used to charge all vehicles.
To continue promoting the development of green buses, investors must gain profit from it. Subsidies alone are not enough. Therefore, a policy for green bus conversion needs to involve multiple sectors and stakeholders, rather than simply replacing old buses with new ones.
The Mộc Châu tourism area has been recognized as a national tourism site, according to a decision issued by the Minister of Culture, Sports and Tourism on Tuesday. The Mộc Châu National Tourism Area is located in the two districts of Mộc Châu and Vân Hồ in Sơn La Province, spanning an area of over 206,000 hectares. It boasts three main areas: the Mộc Châu Resort Center, the Mộc Châu Eco-Tourism Center, and the Mộc Châu Entertainment Center. The Mộc Châu Tourism Area plays a key role in the development of Sơn La. Some of its key responsibilities include being an ecological and cultural preservation area, a key economic development region of South Sơn La Province, a center of agricultural, forestry, and handicraft production, and holding an important position in security and national defense. According to the Global Muslim Travel Index 2023 report, approximately 140 million tourists paid for Muslim-friendly tourism services globally last year. It is expected that by 2028, this number will reach about 230 million, with spending potentially reaching up to $225 billion. However, Vietnam only welcomed less than 1 million halal tourists. What is the solution to tap into this potential market and accommodate the future influx of visitors to Vietnam? The following story will provide an answer.
This group of tourists from the Muslim country of Saudi Arabia chose Vietnam as their destination for a long holiday after the Muslim fasting month of Ramadan.
I learned about Vietnam through friends' introductions. We decided to go to Vietnam for 2 weeks. I filmed videos and took many photos there. I will recommend the country to friends and family. I will definitely return to Vietnam.
Muslim-friendly tourism services adhere to Islamic principles and regulations, including services such as dining, prayer sites, transportation, entertainment, and shopping. Halal tourists are interested in famous destinations, but those destinations must meet the unique criteria of Muslims.
The language barrier is a problem, as these tourists primarily speak Arabic. Their food must be halal. Current tourist areas usually have one halal restaurant, which is quite limited in quantity.
More tourism products should be developed to be compatible with Muslim-friendly tourism services. Vietnam's tourism staff need training to understand the style of serving Muslim tourists. All these factors would prepare us to welcome more Muslim and halal guests.
Vietnam's tourism development strategy through 2030 recognizes the need to tap into new and potential markets, such as the Middle East and India. The development of Muslim-friendly tourism services presents both significant opportunities and challenges for the Vietnamese tourism sector.
The ceremony of praying for rain and a good harvest is a typical tradition of many ethnic groups, including the Mânông people in the Central Highlands. This large-scale event is often held during the dry season, expressing significant spiritual value and underscoring the human-nature connection.
The Mânông people in Dak Tour village, Cơ Pui commune, Kompong district, have built elevated floors and ceremony poles next to a small stream. A house containing agricultural products and cultivation tools is situated in the middle of the ceremonial ground. The local people also make several mbuit, tassels made from bamboo.
These tassels symbolize rice paddy flowers. We use them to worship God for a good harvest.
Many households in the village also bring wine jars and chickens to the ceremony. These are their offerings to pray for good luck in the upcoming crop. As the bustling sound of gongs commences, the shaman performs the rituals of worshipping the gods.
We pray for rain, a successful harvest, and peace. We ask the gods to grant good luck and for the trees to grow healthily. Villagers hold this event 2 to 3 times a year, depending on the harvest and drought situation.
When the ceremonial rituals are completed, villagers created cultivation activities. They spray water to stimulate rain, poke holes, and spread seeds in the fields. Young people go to collect honey. These activities symbolize the villagers' hard work and desire for a bountiful harvest, as well as express their gratitude for natural products from nature.
This ceremony of praying for rain is our long-standing tradition. We must uphold it and pass it on to our children and grandchildren, so they do not abandon our customs.
The prayer ceremony not only contributes to preserving traditions and cultural space, but can also serve as a local tourism product. These activities help attract tourists from across the country to experience the culture of ethnic groups in the Central Highlands.
Coming up next on VTV News, Hezbollah fires 35 rockets at Israel. And later on, China intensifies flood rescue efforts to look for 11 missing people in Guangdong province. Now moving on to our world news, the Lebanese armed group Hezbollah launched approximately 35 rockets towards northern Israel on Monday evening, according to a statement from the Israeli military. The rockets triggered air raid sirens in the city of Safed and other communities in northern Israel, but no injuries have been reported. In response, the Israel Defense Forces struck the rocket launchers and Hezbollah infrastructure in southern Lebanon. The violence was the latest in the ongoing cross-border fighting between Israel and Hezbollah since October 8, 2023, one day after the beginning of the war in the Gaza Strip. Israeli attacks have mostly focused on the border areas of southern Lebanon. However, Israel has recently expanded the scale of its attack further north. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un led nuclear counterattack drills to simulate its nuclear trigger management system on Monday, according to the state news agency KCNA on Tuesday. The drills involve super-large multiple rockets artillerymen, with the rockets hitting their island target 352 kilometers away. This move is part of the testing of a nationwide nuclear management system titled Nuclear Trigger. The drills are considered North Korea's response to U.S. and South Korean military exercises. This information was disclosed a day after South Korea and Japan reported that North Korea had fired a short-range ballistic missile on Monday. Heavy rain has subsided in the southern Chinese province of Guangdong. However, the National Meteorological Administration of the country recommends that localities in Guangdong province and neighboring provinces continue to implement drainage measures in urban and agricultural areas to prevent landslides. Search and rescue operations are continuing for the 11 others missing in Guangdong. The province has so far relocated approximately 110,000 residents, with 26,000 people being urgently resettled. Since April the 16th, Guangdong has suffered from heavy downpours. Luoking Township, Qiyang district of Shaoguan City, registered the province's maximum cumulative precipitation of 585.2 millimeters. To date, 45 rivers and 66 hydrologic stations across the province have reported water levels surpassing alarm levels. Severe weather is forecast to continue across parts of southern China through at least May the 1st. Heaviest rainfall is expected in many areas of Fujian, Guangdong, and Guangxi provinces on April the 24th to the 26th and the 28th to the 30th. And now let's have a look at the weather forecast. And that is all that we have for this hour on VTV News. To rewatch our program, you can visit our website or YouTube channel or download a mobile app, VTVgo, for more. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.